Darwin Avalon. Very happy to be with you. I should like to introduce you to Matrimandir Merkaba meditation. First, I must say that we live in a very special moment in the evolution of humanity. Everything feels, I think, that we are at a turning point. Nobody knows what the turning point will bring us into. What are we doing with ourselves? Because if everyone does his part of the work, the collective consciousness of the planet will change, and this is the most important. In order to change, we need some tools. And so I'm so happy to introduce you to the Matrimandir Merkaba meditation, which is composed of 3 elements. So first, meditation. I think more or less everyone knows what it means. A meditation means that we bring our mind into thought, into silence. That we overcome all the tendency we have of preoccupation, anxiety, and let's say the focusing ourselves on the negative part of our lives. So meditation is very important. Something that is for me basic is that we cannot work on our thoughts if we don't work on our feelings. Because for me, our psychic part is polarized, and it's polarized in mental and sentimental. So mental and sentimental are like the 2 parts of the same coin. And if you just work on your mental part without transforming your emotions, your feelings, you may stay 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months into meditation in a wonderful place. You go back into the world, and after 1 week, you're back again into your crashing disorder, because the feelings are more important than the thoughts. They are heavier. So when I propose this workshop of Matrimandir Merkaba meditation, the meditation part includes a very deep work on our feelings. And so we really work in cleansing, in purifying all the heavy memories of our past. Because all the emotional sufferings of our past is a terrible weight that we have on our shoulders, and this is what making life heavy, making life difficult, making us trapped into our past. And if we are trapped into our past, we cannot go forward. It's a total impossibility. And for me, this is what is provoking the fact that the more people advance into age, and the more they are tired, negative, sad, into despair, and they need tablets, medicine, to keep on going, but they are into a negative circle from which is extremely difficult to come out if you don't cleanse yourself from all the bad experiences, the heavy experiences, the suffering experiences of your past. So this is meditation. So what I propose is not a regular meditation, because it's a meditation based on the emotional cleansing. And once you have cleansed your heavy memory, then you start being able to overcome the roof of your thoughts and reach, let's say, a level where you don't need anymore to retire to feel the peace into your mind. You can get it everywhere. So this is the first pillar, let's say, of Matrimandir Merkaba meditation. And this cleansing is based on the chakras. I don't have time to develop so much, but the chakras are the containers of our memories. So the chakras are the keepers of the time inside of us. They are the keepers of our past. And as long as we don't get rid of our past, we are prisoners of our past. But if we cleanse our chakra from all the dirtiness of our past, then we can start change our future and be into present. So the work is really based on this cleansing of the chakra that has been part of the millennia teachings of India, but that most of the Indian tradition has forgotten, because, you know, there are very few traditions on this planet that has not been forgotten. And maybe the one which is the most preserved is the Maori tradition, because the Maoris belong to the islands in the Pacific Ocean that was the last one to be conquered by the Occidental people. So I had the luck to work in Hawaii and in French Polynesia, and to go into this quintessence of the tradition. And New Zealand is also an important point, I'm sure, about this. So the second pillar is Merkaba. So Merkaba is also connected with a very, very old tradition, which, of course, Merkaba is very famous into the Jew tradition. It is a chariot into the chariot of fire, on which some prophets of the Old Testament disappeared from the physical world. And Merkaba, for me, comes from the deepest, oldest tradition, not only of this planet, but let's say of the galactic tradition. And it consists of getting rid of this incredible illusion to think of being a being connected to a physical body. And Merkaba, the Merkaba tradition, that for me again is extremely linked to the Egyptian tradition, is showing us the way to recover our connection with all the dimensions in the creation. We are not we are not an individual living into a physical body. We are a cosmic being living simultaneously into all the dimensions of the creation. And for me, the work is to remember the other parts of ourselves. And what is very specific of the teaching I propose is that we work from up to down. You know, most of the religion, most of the tradition, they work from the physical body to the, trying to go from the physical body to the divine essence of our being. In the teaching I propose, we work from above to below. It means we work to connect with our divine essence and let the divine essence transform our physical consciousness by the link that by recovering the memory and the link with our global being. And this is made through progressive expansion of the consciousness. We have to respect the stages of this adventure that is about recovering the totality of our being. So Merkaba is about the expansion of the recuperation of the totality of our being, but this is allowed only if first we cleanse our suffering memories, and second, if we obtain the permission from, let's say, the guardians of the other worlds. And so there is a work on the dimension, the space-time, and so on. And we learn also on working on the past and the future to change each other, and in order to become more and more focused in our present. And our present is the simultaneity of all the parts of our beings spread into all the dimensions, and that we have to unify in order to bring all this information, all this memory into the physical body in order to change the world that are experiencing with our physical body. Hey, this is a very sympathical game. Then we have the third part, which is Matrimandir. In reality, everything in one is one on the universe. And this unity, let's say, can be compared to a huge, huge, huge web. And this web is called in the tradition the flower of life. So, you know, we just have to reconnect. It's like if our physical body had so many wires that are ready to connect us with so many, let's say, levels into the creation, but that we don't know. We just had to plug into electricity and to press on a button, but we don't know how to do. We don't even know that we have so many abilities that we don't use. So it's really about reconnecting ourselves, reconnecting all the threads, allowing our physical body to reconnect its connection to all the essences of all the parts of creation. And you know, I received this information 10 years ago in Glastonbury in England, and then I was asked to go to India. I arrived in Auroville, and when I saw the Matrimandir in Auroville, I was so amazed that it was the architectural representation of the work I was suggesting my students to do, because the Matrimandir is a representation of the web, of the structure we have to reactivate around ourselves in order to become part of of a huger web that is part of a huger web that is part of another huger, bigger web, because everything is interconnected into creation. And the more we reconnect ourselves with a web, we just can feel that there is another one behind, and there is another one, and this is Isis, the veil of Isis that is progressively unveiling. Voilà. And so this is, let's say, a little presentation of the Matrimandir Merkaba meditation, and it's very, very, very important tool. And I will end with two things. It is based on love, because love is the only way to attract and fix the light into our physical body and into our spiritual field of energy. So everything is based on creation has three aspects. We have life, love, and light. Light is produced by the flame of everlasting life. So we have the flame of everlasting life that creates love and light. The light is fixed through love into our physical body and into our spiritual energetic fields, or into our Merkaba. But the base is the communion with the flame of everlasting life. So all the work we do is identification with the flame of everlasting light through love, and the love is fixing the light of this flame into our Merkaba. But so let's say on the cosmic, we work with the cosmic energy of the flame of everlasting light, but we bring this energy into the self of our physical body. And so the work is absolutely always done with the cells of our physical body, and we learn how to communicate with ourselves, how to be into love with ourselves, how to be all the time thanking ourselves because they are serving ourselves all the time. We learn how to speak with them, how to communicate with them, how to convince them to work with us, because for me, you know, our unconscious, the unconscious part of us is the memory of the cells of our physical body. So also when we do the cleansing of the suffering memories of our past, it's about cleansing ourselves from all the memories of death that are inside. And literally the work is to overcome the determinism of death that human beings think being part of their destiny. But I'm absolutely convinced that the turning point that we are facing now at this moment into humanity is an incredible jump of quality. It is about getting rid of death and going into everlasting life, everlasting consciousness that only life exists and that death is only the manifestation of a low vibrational level into ourselves. And so the teaching I propose is really a fantastic opportunity to help the cosmic energy, the divine, to bring human being completely into a radical transformation, which is about getting rid of the memories of death and entering into everlasting, into the only reality that is everything is eternal, everything is immortal, there is no beginning and no end, there is only life going on, and this life going on into the joy and the magnificence of bringing ourselves into the thing and into the glory of that everything that is brought to us into our life is just love. This is, let's say, the base of what I propose in this teaching. Thank you. It was, I tried to do the best.